Dead Alive, also known as Braindead, is a 1992, New Zealand-based comedy horror movie, directed by Peter Jackson, yes, the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson, and is by far the goriest film I have ever had the pleasure of watching. Shit gets hairy right from the beginning, as we see a couple of mad bastards transporting, what we're led to believe, is a Sumatran rat monkey. However, the locals aren't too keen on the departure of their wildlife, and despite written permission from Specky Four Eyes, decide to bombard the bastards with spears, arrows, and expletives. We find out that old Poindexter has received a couple of bites from the elusive monkey, and unfortunately for him, the team are all out of Savlon. The only alternative is to hack off each affected body part. Bit harsh, if you ask me. Little do these bastards know, but this rat monkey will be integral to the entire plot of this movie. Let's get started. The story focuses on Lionel, a hapless mummy's boy who's spent his whole life running errands, and generally existing under his mother's oppressive thumb. He doesn't have a whole lot going for him, to be fair. But that is all about to change. Vera, who works at a nearby grocery store, discovers during a tarot reading that her soulmate will appear to her, bearing the sign of a star. And you've guessed it, the next day, the hapless twat Lionel knocks some crap everywhere, and the star is revealed. Vera is immediately besotted with the sleeveless jumper-wearing asshole, and despite Lionel not having the first clue about girls, ends up inadvertently asking Vera out on a date to the local zoo. Lionel's mother, being the possessive old cantankerous hag that she is, isn't happy about Vera stealing Lionel's affections, and decides to follow and spy on the potential lovebirds' date. She can't afford to lose Lionel, after all, she needs him to clean her house and impress some local bigwigs. The date to the zoo goes well, until Lionel and Vera watch the Sumatran rat monkey decapitate and feast on one of its fellow zoo buddies. The monkey, not satisfied with chowing down on the other animals, decides to take a chunk out of Lionel's mother, and subsequently, gets his ratty brains dashed out. Now this is where all hell breaks loose. Over the coming days she falls ill in a big way. Her arm is all jacked up after the bite, bits of her body struggle to stay attached, and she develops a peculiar appetite for dogs too. But this is relatively tame compared to the rest of the movie, and as Lionel's mother starts to decompose before her son's very eyes, her health worsens, and she eventually succumbs to the rat monkey's bite after a tussle on the stairs. Lionel is understandably gutted at his mother's death, but doesn't have too long to mourn, as she quickly returns in the form of a homicidal flesh-eating zombie, and immediately kills the nurse that was trying to save her just minutes beforehand. Then, soon afterwards, the nurse returns too, and you can see where this is going, can't you? The dead come back to life and kill again, and the cycle continues. That little rat dickhead has a lot to answer for. So there we have it, a romance doomed by the resurrected dead, a creepy uncle sniffing around for inheritance money, and a ridiculously gross incident concerning Lionel's mother, and some embalming fluid. Can Lionel stop the spread of the rat monkey's evil curse? What will happen to his mother's estate now that she is kind of dead, but also not dead, and will the impending killing spree give Vera second thoughts about lover boy, Lionel? The whole movie is dedicated to disgusting its viewer, and I love it. This one will have you retching at so many scenes. Whether it's Lionel's amazing lawnmower display, an illuminating encounter with a light bulb, or the 300 liters of fake blood used in the final showdown. My favorite scene is when Lionel is ambushed by some graveyard bikers, after he attempts to dig up his mother's grave. He is rescued by Father Magruder, whose impressive kung fu skills would put Bruce Lee to shame. The infected bikers get their asses, arms, and heads for that matter, handed to them in a hilariously violent way, that had me chuckling for the entirety. Dead Alive isn't a scary film, it's a ludicrous comedy that entertains from the first minute to the last. Hats off to Peter Jackson for creating such a zombified treat, and on such a shoestring budget. The real star of the show is Timothy Baum, who plays Lionel. He gives a truly comedic performance that is so entertaining you just can't stop watching. Do yourself a favor, and check this one out as soon as you can, but make sure you've got a strong stomach. Thanks for watching. I've been HB, the Horror Bot. Cheers babes.